Hi, hope you're enjoying a great day. Keep an eye out for my video series on different ways that I could choose to run, different techniques, different strides that either I use or I choose not to use, and why. So that'll be a video series, but in the first place, why would anybody ever want to run? Well, for the ones that I see at the stop signs as I'm jogging by and they're giving me a knowing smile, they know why I run. They know why I run. But for the people who feel that they're not built for running, and they think, why on earth would anybody run or do cardio, speed walk with ski poles? Why would they do that? It hurts, it's uncomfortable, it's not enjoyable. But, I better get some cardio because it's great for chronic disease prevention, and my trainer's telling me it's great for my joints and for injury prevention down the road, so I continue to make gains in my workouts. So I guess I should, but why and how do I even start? Well, I have gotten people started. Go find somebody that understands what it is to run and what the risks are for running and the hazards and how to maybe sidestep those hazards. Get someone individual to look at the body, what it's doing as it's running, and how maybe to make gains on those or to correct certain things that are becoming habits before they become habits. So, because think about it, because not everybody is built for cardio. I liken it to an old ancient battlefield, right? You've got your short sprint people, you got your long distance running people, right? You got your throwers of the staffs and the boulders, right? Your javelin and your shot put. Does this sound familiar? You've got your swords people and your archers. The people who are great with their little foot movements and timing and agility and zigzagging and arching back, right? So you got your high jumpers, your triple jumpers, and your long jumpers, and your 400-meter dash people, right? Everybody's got a different body type, and everybody's got a different strength and weakness. Everybody's got different risks for different injuries because of the body type, right? So for someone who's great at lifting and carrying heavy things while their body's moving in small movements, they're not going to grab a boulder and do the high jump with it. I don't think anybody's going to do that naturally or want to. So those people who are great at lifting and carrying, they're good at compressing their joints down to create just a tiny little bit of movement, but the joint's not going to slip out and cause an injury while that thing's happening, because there's a lot of stability in the body, a lot of good, strong, forward, small movements. And that's how that body was built. That's what the body's good at. Whereas somebody else, an archer type or a swords person, an agile type, might have to be careful with lifting a heavy thing and moving it around because their joints are very loose, right? They've got a lot of agility, dexterity, a lot of movement through their joints. Their muscles are holding them a little more loosely. Stability is not important for that body type, not quite to the degree that agility and movement is, right? So those people are going to maybe be more at risk of injury if they're just going to go and pick up a deadlift, whereas someone who has that natural build to them might be able to go and pick up that deadlift and not have quite as a risk of an injury as they begin their gym workout as somebody else, right? Whereas let's say that person, a person who's really built for solidity and strong carrying type movements, now goes for a sprint down the road. They're going to be at risk for injury because they're going to strain a muscle. The muscles don't have that agility to them to be able to create long strided movements right away. It's going to have to be a build-up process. So we all need to keep balance within our workouts, all for different reasons, but all for very good reasons. Balancing out what we're good at and what we're not so good at as a body type. So why on earth would anybody run that enjoys running? Why do they enjoy running? Well, running, so for those of us who are very good at lifting and carrying, it's really a different way of being in our body as we run. It is a different way of being in the body. We neutralize. Everything's shaking around. We're loosey-goosey. A jog is how I get rid of neck and head tension. If I can keep myself injury free and just go for my jogs, even a 10-minute every day, my neck releases from my day. It's a great way for me to release the tension. it's a great way for me to release my mental tension. How my body and my subconscious mind, my nervous system, how my inner child feels about what I've experienced that day. And so I will do a workout, mainly cardio, because that's what I have been drawn to since I was young. And all that stuff kind of drains out of me, and I'm back to myself again, the uncompensated state. I'm not, my system isn't reacting anymore. It processed it as I did my workout. And that's why a lot of us work out. And you know, for those long distance runners, I don't do it, but I get it. It also helps me keep my digestive system going and healthy. I've got a very slow transit time, slow digestion, so it keeps that going. And it really just is, I call it the commute home, the commute from having my day and being this for that person and that for that person, and taking this on and having to hear that or witness that, because you know, life's brutal for everybody. And then that commute home, that commute back into myself. So I'm like, okay, I'm in here now. I'm not out there anymore. I'm in here, and that's where I need to exist if I want to be functional over the long term, if I want to have good energy and mental clarity, and the blood drains from the quick parts of my brain, the quick twitch muscles, and it drains into my digestive system so I can digest, drains into my other organs so they can stay nice and healthy, and it drains and it goes and different parts of my brain light up, the creative aspect of my brain, the reflecting aspect of my brain, mental clarity. And that's why I run. So we got pole walking with ski poles, we got pole jogging with ski poles, we got speed walking, and we got jogging, and we've got high knees, which I go through as well in my series. Now, so jogging we talked about in the last video a lot, so I'm going to leave that alone. We're just going to kind of go into jogging technique. Now, speed walking it's kind of out of style now, I think. I don't see a lot of people speed walking anymore, but if you go on Google and you look at some images of speed walking 1980s, it's quite, I love watching it because these people are just doing this strategic walk, and their hips are very good. There's strong movement through the waist, through the upper abdomen. The rib cage is mobile and moving, which a lot of us could use these days, by the way. The hips are moving well, and you can see that they've developed their thigh muscles in quite a lovely shape. So I'm kind of not sure why it went out of vogue, because it's quite a protective way to do cardio. It doesn't have the pounding and the impact that a jog or a sprint or a high knee would do. And so I suppose for risk injury, maybe, but maybe I'm missing something. Pole walking came into vogue a while ago. It's walking with ski poles, and you can get not just ski poles, but they have a little rubber tip on them, and you go on the road. Though I don't understand how the rubber tip stays intact for long on pavement, but maybe I'm just a little too rough with them. Pole walking is excellent exercise in my opinion, and I did quite a bit of pole jogging and pole sprinting when I was recovering from a running injury. I would go up a hill really quickly with my poles, and I had like my upper abdomen and my chest muscles and my lower abdomen and my waistline were really getting engaged through that exercise. And I was taking the load off my knees and hips, which needed a bit of a break. I could still move them, but they needed a break. Shouldn't have the load that I had on them without those poles. Those poles were helping me that way. They were also helping tone my arms. So that was great. And then as I jogged myself, maneuvered myself down the steep hill, it was strengthening my knees and my hips again. I had to do it very mindfully, otherwise it would have backfired, but that was something I did. And with the ski poles, I was able to help my body realize, okay, she's got help here. And so the body didn't clench right up on me in full protection mode while the way it would have done, perceiving me to be doing something that was dangerous. But I had those poles in my hand, so that made all the difference for my subconscious mind. So that no, I'm not going to clench up on her. She doesn't need me to clench up on her. I'm just going to keep letting her move. So with any kind of exercise, it's great to have guidance, especially when it's not our wheelhouse. And we talked about how the people who are good at lifting things and maneuvering and moving things are going to be at risk for certain injuries, whereas the agile ones are going to be at risk for others. And so it's great to have a personal trainer, especially one who understands what it is to have an injury. to have a previous injury and what it is to compensate for that and to protect that area, because the body will protect it and tense up on you if you don't protect it. If you're not strategic about handling old injuries, because the body never forgets. It always protects an old injury fiercely. And you know what? It's great to have a team like us around at Brent Wellness and Rehab. Have a team of experts, different specialties, different perspectives on one situation has been fantastic, at least for my patients who see all of us, or most of us. So the video series goes through doing high knees as well. High knees, what I mean by that is that's your high intensity interval training workouts. You'll see high knees happening a lot. You'll see burpees happening a lot. I can't do burpees anymore. My back just clenches right up on me. It won't let me, because I'm not protecting my old injury very well in that case. So my body just goes, nope, you're not doing that. Okay, fine. So that's HIIT workouts, that's Tabata style workouts, that's your cardio kickboxing type stuff. And so high knees, if we aren't doing them mindfully, can create quite a bit of quick twisting in the spine area, which the body may decide is dangerous to it. So it might clench up on us and create inflexibility and pain whenever we do something like that. It can shorten the iliopsoas muscle, which is a very important thing. If you want to know more about the iliopsoas muscle, there's a pain series on the Facebook page, on the website, on my website, on my YouTube page. And so I go through high knees as well, and what I make sure I do for safety. So I hope you enjoy the video series, and I look forward to that. Jogging and sprinting are a little different, just like speed walking and jogging are a little different. Sprinting can most definitely increase our risk of injury, particularly if we are thinking that we need to try really hard as we sprint. Sprinting for me has become an art. I was never very good at it. I'm still not very fast at it, but I can do it for a short time period without injuring myself. The way I do it is simply the way I jog. I neutralize the body, and I have to trust my body. That's how I do it. Maybe it's not the standardized, maybe it is, I don't know, but that's how I do. I neutralize. And what does that mean, to neutralize? Well, in a sprint, you think about it. If your shoulders are tense and your chest is tense and your arms are tense and you're like, go on, that may not be very energy efficient, because in a sprint, it really illustrates quite well how much energy we have and how efficiently we need to use it in order to do a fast sprint, and in order to get through our entire sprint for our however long we chose to do that for, whether that's for a minute, whether that's for 20 seconds, whether that's from that light pole to the other light pole. So if we're tense in certain areas that we don't need for the sprint and we're flexing those muscles, that's going to be an awful waste of energy. And that's just a great illustration of how to make the most out of a jog or a speed walk, is to actually involve the rest of the body. Because it's easy for, especially a lifter, to really be really good at strengthening and flexing the rib cage up or the waist down. Whereas with a jog and a sprint and a speed walk and a pole walk and a high knee, we're engaging all of them, all parts of the body. In a sprint, there really is no mechanical way to explain how to do this. Because I should be not as mechanical as I am in other aspects. I need to be the opposite of mechanical in my sprint. In order to get through it, I need to just splush, neutralize, and let my body movements take over on a subconscious level. I'm not conscious of every muscle that's going and my technique. I don't have the energy for that. I'm trying to get through the sprint, which again comes back to the most efficient and effective way for me to jog or speed walk or pole walk. Now, as we go up that hill, it's energy in and energy out the back of us. Energy in, energy out the back of us. Our rib cage is propelling us forward. Our head is not down, our shoulders are not tense. We're just looking around because our senses are about us. If we're out and about anywhere, our senses, our hearing is on. Our eyes are still on, even though our head's down a little bit. Chest is leading us forwards. Rib cage is big and wide as that breath comes in the front. And then imagine it coming out the back, as if the breath is propelling us up the hill. Now, I know that's not the scientific exact way it's happening, but if we visualize it that way, we're going to make the best use of our energy, our lactic acid buildup that's going to be in there, the oxygenation of the cells of the muscles, right? Engaging that creatine that's in them if we're getting to the end of our max in a sprint. All that stuff is happening. And meanwhile, we're trying to go fast. So sprinting is a great way to mentally understand maybe how to enjoy a run or a speed walk. Neutralize energy from the forward and then out from the back. Swim up that hill. Don't carry yourself up the hill. Swim up it. See how it goes, and always follow instincts. Always listen to the inner voice first. No matter what anybody says, have discernment, because we all know our body best and we know it tells us. So listen closely. Be safe and have fun.